Why are they putting their children
Well,
on
interestingly,
Instagram?
if you ever read those press releases from Republic, the pressure group, they always say that when William and Kate put pictures of their children out for their birthdays, and these days they used to be taken by photographers like Arthur, but now they're taken by their own chosen private photographers. But, you know, the pressure group says this is them using their kids for propaganda to keep the monarchy alive. So, you know, again, they are in the line of succession, and therefore we, I think, expect to see them. But can you imagine when Arthur went, you know, to photograph Princess Diana with the kids on that roller coaster, and the pictures you saw next day had a big sort of emoji over the front of their faces? It
wasn't.
seem...
Step right up, folks, and behold the great Hypocrisy Highwire Act, starring none other than royal commentator Chris Can't Take the Heat Ship. In one corner, we have Meghan Sussex, a mother pulling off the daring and noble feat of not wanting the entire planet to ogle her kids like zoo animals. Her offence? Gasp! Covering Archie and Lilibet's faces in public photos. The horror, the audacity. How dare she parent responsibly? And in the other corner, wearing the cloak of moral authority, and possibly holding a royal PR script, is Chris Shipp, who wastes no time slamming Meghan's privacy moves while, wait for it, selectively hiding comments that dare to question his royal reporting, especially anything that shines a flashlight on Prince William's financial arrangements. Yes, ladies and gents, it's the media version of do as I say, not as I delete. Shipp cries foul when Meghan guards her children, but conveniently sweeps away comments that poke holes in the polished, palace-approved fairy tale. You'd think he was guarding the crown jewels, not a comment section. What we're witnessing isn't journalism, it's puppet theatre, where certain royal reporters seem less like truth-seeking scribes and more like ventriloquist dummies mouthing the monarchy's greatest hits. So when Meghan dons the cape of Mama Bear to protect her kids from the tabloid circus, she's met with pitchforks. But when Chris Shipp curates reality like he's running a museum exhibit titled The Untouchable Windsors, somehow that's considered professional reporting. The irony is so rich, it should be paying royal taxes. So next time you see Chris Shipp pointing fingers at Meghan for being too private, just remember, behind the curtain, he's busy hitting hide comment faster than you can say Camilla's press team. Hold on to your teacups, folks, because Chris Shipp has officially taken hypocrisy from a simmer to a full royal boil. While Meghan Sussex gently shields her kids from the snapping jaws of tabloid piranhas, Chris is out here waving his journalism badge like a royal flag, then promptly hiding comments faster than Prince William dodging questions about the Duchy of Cornwall. Let's break it down. Meghan covering Archie and Lily's faces in public? Scandalous, according to Shipp. But comments from Republic questioning Prince William's whopping £20 million a year allowance from the Duchy? Poof! Vanished, like Andrew at a Pizza Express. That's right. Shipp's royal reporting is starting to look less like journalism and more like a Buckingham-branded Instagram feed. No negativity, no questions, just vibes and velvet. And speaking of William's income, did we mention it's 138 times more than the UK Prime Minister's salary? Yes, you read that right. The future king earns the GDP of a small island nation every year for doing what exactly? Polishing medals? Perfecting the royal wave? Playing polo in slow motion? Meanwhile, Shipp is out here acting like Meghan committing the unholy act of protecting her kids is the crime of the century. This isn't journalism, it's palace PR live, complete with censorship, soft-focus narratives, and a strict no commoners criticising royal cash flow policy. Chris Shipp isn't reporting, he's curating, like a museum of outdated privilege, where the plaques all read, "Nothing to see here. Move along, peasants." So next time Shipp comes swinging with a hot take on Meghan's parenting, just remember, behind the royal curtain, he's busy burying any comment that threatens to expose the golden goose nest egg that is the Duchy of Cornwall. Because nothing says free press quite like deleting dissent while defending the descendants of monarchy-fueled mega-wealth. Long live the narrative. Just don't question it. Welcome to the magical land of Britannia, where palaces are pristine, corgis are pampered, and journalists are politely muzzled by the crown. Yes, friends, you're not watching a constitutional monarchy at work, you're watching the longest-running episode of Spin City. At the heart of this PR palace lies none other than Chris Shipp Happens Shipp, ITV's royal correspondent/chief spin technician. Far from being a hard-nosed journalist, Shipp seems to have traded in his press credentials for a palace guest pass, working overtime as the monarchy's unofficial chief vibes officer. Forget holding power to account. In the royal press pack, the unspoken rule is, speak no scandal, hear no dissent, delete all comments, especially the ones mentioning Prince William's gold-plated allowance or King Charles's curious real estate empire. And why, you ask? Because in the UK's press ecosystem, getting cut off from royal access is basically the media equivalent of being exiled to the Tower. No interviews, no photo ops, no invitations to Kate's next quiet family moment, staged on a rolling meadow with cinematic lighting. Tragic. So rather than risk losing their golden goose, or access to Buckingham's biscuit tray, media outlets play nice, very nice. Ship leads the way by vanishing critical comments like he's performing a disappearing act on Britain's democratic soul. But then, drum roll. Channel 4 dispatches came swinging in like a rogue knight with receipts. They pulled the royal curtain back and went full exposé mode, questionable money, shady deals, and oh look, more taxpayer-funded tiaras than you can shake a sceptre at. Cue the Royal Damage Control Orchestra trademark, playing their greatest hits. We regret nothing, please stop looking. That's not a scandal, it's tradition. Pay no attention to the billionaire behind the throne. And of course, enter our spin hero, Chris Ship, galloping in with a shiny quill to bury the dispatch's revelations beneath a fresh fluff piece about Princess Charlotte's new hair clip. It's not journalism, it's PR with a crown emoji. This isn't the Fourth Estate, it's the Queen's gambit of gaslighting, a royal propaganda machine that purrs like a Rolls-Royce and runs on compliance, silence, and a whole lot of public funding. So the next time you see glowing headlines about the royals' quiet dignity or deep commitment to service, just remember, somewhere behind the scenes, a comment got deleted, a story got spiked, and a journalist chose a canapé over a conscience. God save the spin. Step right up to the royal media circus, where honestly facts are optional, double standards are everywhere, and if you're Meghan Sussex, well, how dare you even try to protect your own children? Yes, folks, in this grand carnival of so-called royal experts, Meghan has committed the ultimate sin, being a responsible parent. The outrage, the scandal, the horror of, wait for it, covering her children's faces in family photos, because apparently, in the twisted logic of royal commentary, a mother who puts her kids' privacy and safety above public spectacle is just, well, too controversial. Imagine thinking that shielding your toddlers from internet weirdos, facial recognition tech and tabloid vultures is somehow selfish. No, Meghan isn't hiding her kids, she's protecting them. She's saying, my children are not your clickbait. And for that she's dragged through the media mud by the same talking heads who praise royals for smiling at charity events. Make it make sense. And then there's Prince Harry, once hailed as a war hero, now spun into a villain by media acrobats like Chris Ship, who've done more flip-flops than a beach in Brighton. Let's get one thing straight. Prince Harry served 2 tours in Afghanistan, flew Apache helicopters into active combat, and risked his life for the very country whose press now tries to crucify him. You'd think that level of sacrifice would earn at least a little respect, right? Wrong. Because in the upside-down logic of the royal press, they'll downplay Harry's military service and elevate nonsense. In fact, some voices even flirted with siding against him when his presence on the battlefield became a target, as if his bravery was the problem, not the people firing bullets at him. It's truly astonishing. A man puts his life on the line, and they hand him a character assassination instead of a medal, all because he dared to marry a woman who doesn't bow to outdated media rules and raise a family on his terms. Here's the truth. Meghan and Harry are rewriting the script. They're saying no to exploitation, no to inherited media manipulation, and yes to boundaries, integrity, and actual courage. So to the royal media mob clutching their pearls, maybe it's not Meghan's parenting or Harry's service you hate. Maybe it's the fact they stopped playing your game and started writing their own rules. Mic drop. Thank you all for watching. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. It's your host, Tyler. Love you all. Goodbye.